Hey, this is Johnny Bean, and it is 5:48 p.m. April 25th, 2017. And this is my daily vlog, my daily VEDA vlog every day in April. I'm doing this along with SavvySexySocial.com. So hashtag SSSVEDA. Follow that. Follow that hashtag on Twitter, Facebook, Google. You can just Google hashtags now and it'll find everything. Follow that, and you will find a lot of other people doing the same thing, basically. Daily vlogs, just daily video, you know? Filming videos every day. Stefan! How you doing, man? Welcome. Stefan is here. So, yeah, anyway. Uh, I'm just vlogging. Hey, Frank. Hey, John. Hey, Richard Smith. Hey, Pal Guitars. Hey, man. Everybody. Thank you for jumping in. I'm just gonna yap for a few minutes. Hey, 802 Blues. 802 Blues, how come you can't jump in the chat room? Did we figure out why you can't do that? It's all good though. It's all good. Leaving comments on videos is perfectly cool. It's actually it's awesome. Hey, Rob. How are you doing, man? Good to see you. Yeah, so this is my daily vlog, daily video. I figured I either could have been outside, you know, filming chickens, or in here. Actually, the battery on my phone was kind of low, so this was my only option, was to come in here and sit down at the mic, basically. Hey, Tizy. I promise though, I will do some more videos where I actually film, film stuff, around town, like a compilation thing, film footage, throughout the day and then upload it, that night. I keep saying I'm going to do that. I haven't really done much of that this time around, this VEDA. But I used to do that. When I first started doing these things, that's basically what I did. That was actually kind of before I started doing these things, the Hangouts. I was doing the VEDA videos first, and they were never live. Hey, Brent Z Rocks. Hey, man. Mitch says, hey, Johnny, guaranteed you've answered this before, I'm sure, but what brand is that 335 in the back? That is a Seville. I believe it's from Japan. It might be an early 80s guitar, maybe 1981, maybe. It's a great guitar. That was my main guitar for a while, back in 1999-ish, 2000-ish. Played that guitar a lot. I've changed the pickups many times over the years. Currently, what's in there are the Seymour Duncan Fat Cats. They're humbucker-sized P90s. They're great pickups. Awesome pickups. I would love to put those pickups in a Wolfgang guitar. That's something I think about. Let's see. Oh, 802 Blues. I have no idea why you don't know why you can't jump in the live chat. It says you have a Nokia phone. You've tried everything, all the things I say to hit by the description, my phone, blah blah. I don't know. But if you're good with leaving comments like that, it's cool. Thank you, Mitch. He says that guitar is a beaut. Awesome choice, Mitch says. That's the tone you want out of that guitar. Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. And our friend Stefan says I should make a video with that guitar. Yeah, I have. I mean, over the years, search back far enough on this channel, and you'll find videos of me playing that guitar. Probably in 2009, maybe. I'm thinking I did some videos with that. But they weren't using Hangouts. This is before Google Hangouts. I think I used to go live on what was it called? There was another website. I actually used to go live all the time. Uh, uh, what were some of the other live websites? There was like Blog TV, uh, Justin TV. Was that another one? Justin TV. And there's another one. Anyway, I used to go live on all these other sites, um, and used to play guitar for like, kind of like I did the other day. I used to do that all the time, but on these other platforms. And I think you used to be able to save the videos as well. So if you go back far enough on this channel, or maybe if I remember, maybe I'll put some links down in the description to some older videos. Um, like I'll be playing that guitar, I guess. But yeah, I do need to make a new video anyway. Anyway, I should probably the next chance I get, I'll do that. I'll bring out the Fender 212 and plug that thing in. I'll crank it. It's an awesome guitar, and yes, the Seymour Duncan Fat Cat P90s they're awesome. I love those pickups. Love them. And I'm very serious about throwing a set of those into a Wolfgang guitar. I would love to do that. The only thing is you'd have to modify the guitar and you'd never be able to put it back. So that's the only thing. So if I were to put those pickups in a Wolfgang, that'd be it, you know? So I actually know somebody who did that, who did that actually. I don't know if they were the Fat Cats that he used, but they were P90s, I know. Hey, Cheryl. Brent Z Rock says you could get some Ted Nugent tone out of that. Just saying, he says. Cheryl, you flying solo tonight, Johnny? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's my vlog, my daily, whatever this is. No, what I was gonna say though was if you've I've got different playlists on this channel. I've got a VEDA playlist or an SSSVEDA playlist. Um, and if you go back, I think I've been doing this for like 4 years, maybe. Go back far enough, and you'll see some videos of like compilations of throughout the day. Like, hey, here I am at Starbucks. Oh, here I am at Target. Oh, here I am walking down the street. Just whatever typical vlog type stuff is. I actually came across a couple of them this morning. I took a look at a couple of my old VEDA videos from I think like 4 years ago, and there was footage of myself with Howie in San Francisco walking around. It was pretty cool. It was cool. So I need to do more of that. You know, you know, get out of the house. Although I was actually, I just got home basically, or to the studio. I was out. I was out there. No, it's not Wednesday. Sorry to scare you guys. No, it's Tuesday. Oh, my tea is ready. Look at this. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, everybody having a good day. I think. I think the day is almost over for some of you on the East Coast. I would think it's about 6 o'clock here. So yeah, it's like nighttime where a lot of you are. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, I just did some of the usual stuff today. Although you never have the time to do all the things that you have to do. You know, never do. So anyway, it's 9 p.m. Where how do you say your name? A a Kikami 2? John needs more excitement. Huh? John says, my getting out of the house is getting a coffee or going for a walk these days. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of similar. Yeah. 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 I'll be taking Howie for his walk. Uh, Probably in a couple hours, I think. Stefan says he's ready for the guitar clinic Friday. Akia Kami 2? That's how you say your name? Akia Kami 2. Cool. Where are you at? 9 p.m. East Coast, it looks like. And yeah, Stefan's getting ready for the guitar clinic Friday. Is that the Skolnick one? Oh, Brian. Hey, man. Good to see you, man. Huh? Hey. Yeah, Stefan. Yes. Have a great time, man. You ever met Alex before? He's a cool dude. Um, he used to give guitar lessons at this guitar shop I used to repair electric guitars at, and this was in the '90s. This was in the mid. Technically, this was in the early to mid 93, 93, 94, 95, 96. Because by 1997, Alex moved to New York. I remember he moved to New York, and I think he went to school. I think he really got into jazz. He really got into jazz music, and he ended up meeting one of his current bandmates in the trio that he's in. What are they called? Is it the Alex Skolnick Trio? He's had so many bands over the years, especially out here. There was Skull Patrol, which was another one. There was Exhibit A, which was another one. I used to see all his bands all the time, and this was in the '90s. This was in mid '90s. Anyway, I remember when he moved to, yeah, I'm talking about Alex Skolnick. He's a guitarist. He's in a band, a pretty heavy band called Testament, and they're from out here. They're based out here, but he lives in New York. But he comes out here when they get ready to tour or to make a record or whatever. Um, The last time I saw, well, not no. The last time I saw Alex was NAMM show, 2014, maybe. I think. Actually, I think I saw him the last NAMM, but I didn't say hi to him. I just saw him walk by. Um, but I ran into him and the other guitarist, Eric Peterson. Um, ran into them at dinner one time. This was in Berkeley. This would have been in like 2012, maybe 2013, 2012, maybe 2011. I don't know if it was that far back. Um, they were writing a New Testament record in Oakland. There's this Oakland rehearsal studio warehouse type place where I've rehearsed at over the years for years and years and years. A lot of friends have a lot of friends who are down there. Anyway, Testament they rehearse there. Uh, there actually used to be a room. There was a big room. I don't know if you guys if you go back let's see 2010, go back to about 2010 ish on the channel here in the videos, and you'll come across a bunch of videos of me in a studio, like recording like guitar tracks. I'm playing, what am I playing? I'm playing the Wolfgang. I'm playing the my Telly. I'm playing the GMW 5150. Anyway, yeah, go back to about 2011 ish, no 2010 on this channel here, and you'll come across a bunch of videos of myself in a studio recording. That room used to be Testament's rehearsal room. That same room, that was their room back in the 90s, I guess. Alex actually wasn't in Testament in the 90s. He actually left in the early 90s. He quit the band, and we became friends basically right after he quit Testament. Back in like 92 or something. I met him and would have been 93. And then basically saw him pretty much every day from 93 to 96. Or maybe 97, early 97-ish, before he left for New York. Anyway. Yeah, so that studio, that was the Old Testament room. And then after that, after it was their room, it became the Third Eye Blind room, where Third Eye Blind rehearsed in that room. It was like their room. Now, I don't know what it is now. I haven't been in that room. It's been a few years since I've been over there. I mean, in that room at least. We used to have like weekly jams, like a Sunday night jam in that room. Myself and a couple other friends of mine, and actually the bass player from Testament showed up one time for the jam. Greg is his name. He's not in the band anymore though. They have somebody else now, but anyway, so what am I trying to say? So yeah, so I ran into Alex and Eric from Testament at this Mexican restaurant in Berkeley, California. And I'm thinking this was like 2011, 2012-ish, maybe. It was right after there was this somebody uploaded video of Skolnick at the EVH booth at NAMM, and Skolnick is playing a Wolfgang. And he didn't know anybody was filming him, so he's just kind of playing. But apparently, it got a bad reception. People were like, "Man, I can't believe he's playing like that." And the video it was almost like one of those viral videos. And so when I saw him, we were going to take some pictures, and but I think we couldn't take pictures in the restaurant or something. Like Eric was like, "Hey, let's get a picture at the bar, in front of the bar," and I think Alex said something like, "No, they won't let you do that," because Alex is actually from Berkeley. That's where he grew up. Um, so anyway, so we go outside and take some. My mom actually took some pictures because I was there with my parents. My parents were in town, and that's our favorite restaurant. So every time my parents are in town, we go to this particular restaurant. And that time, Alex and Eric were in there eating, and they had their guitars with them and everything. Um, but anyway, yeah, we were joking around. It was cool. It was cool. So anyway, long story short, Stefan, have a great time at his clinic. Yeah, tell him hi. Um, Adam, hey man. Sorry, yeah, I was thinking and trying to remember stuff. Didn't miss some of the chat room here. Is that a jazz guitar on the stand? Yeah, it's a Seville 335. Guitar. It's a great guitar. Cool, Stefan. Yeah, yeah, Alex. Yeah, he's a great player. He's cool. He's real cool. Actually, the last time I saw him, yeah, was at NAM 2014, I believe. Jim, is it Nicholas? Did I ever meet Chuck Billy, the singer from Testament? Yeah, yeah, I've met him. We've crossed paths. I was walking into Guitar Center, and he was like in there buying something, and he left. Um, Steve, you're not late. Don't worry. Oh man, Steve Anderson is in the house. Oh, Steve, no worries, man. I'm just rambling on about I don't know, about Testament, I guess. I've actually never really heard any of their stuff. Well, not that's not true. I have. I actually had a friend who was a fan of theirs. This is really funny. When I was in high school, I had a friend who was a huge fan of Testament. And this kid, he'd come into school almost like every day and come to my locker and say, Johnny, did you hear the New Testament? You know, CD. It would have been back when CDs were big. You hear the New Testament CD? Johnny, you got to hear this. You got to hear this. This guy. And he was every day, Testament, you got to listen to them. You got to hear them. And this kid, his name was Dwayne, I remember. And he didn't look like your average like metal fan, you know. But every day he'd come to my locker. Johnny, did you hear the New Testament? You got it. Oh, Johnny, you got to hear this Testament. And so I remember that. And then a few years later, here I am, basically working with the guitar player. I mean, in the same store, because he was giving guitar lessons in a back room, and I was right next to. We basically shared a wall, and so I would hear him in there playing every day, and I'd be on the other side, fixing electric guitars. And during breaks, like in between students, I'd go in there and we would just BS. We would talk shop, talk about guitars. He had some cool stories, some cool Van Halen stories of meeting Eddie back in the early 90s. I remember he told me one time, I guess they were recording at a studio, and like Edward was like at the same studio, like next door or something. And so Alex, this is Skolnick, he got his autograph, he had this piece of paper that said to Alex, Edward Van Halen, and this would have been early 90s, maybe. Let's see, Testament, they started in 86, 87. They had records out in the late 90s. I mean, 80s, late 80s. This would have been somewhere like, I'm thinking like 91. 90, 91 somewhere. Skolnick ran into Edward Van Halen at a studio. Long story short, he got his autograph, goes home, puts it down on the table. Alex's girlfriend at the time picked it up, threw it in the trash. Didn't know what it was. Or she flushed it down the toilet or something. And he was like, oh. That was funny. Yeah. Yeah, I remember he told me that story one time. So yeah, all kinds of cool stories, you know. And of course, Skolnick, he was one of the Satriani students, you know. A lot of you guys know about Satriani. Satriani actually used to teach lessons in that same building. Believe it or not. In the early, I think it was the early 80s, this particular guitar store. Satriani used to teach there. And then eventually Satriani moved basically down the street to what's the it's on Martin Luther King Way in Berkeley. It's basically Martin Luther King Way and Rose Streets. Right across the street from this restaurant called Fat Apples. This is in Berkeley, California. There's a little, basically just a little storefront. Satriani used to teach there in the early 80s. And that's where he taught, I think Skolnick, probably Kirk. Well, I don't know if Kirk Hammett, I don't know if that was in New York or if that was out here. Anyway, this is just stuff that I've heard, you know. I'm sure some of you guys know a lot more than I do about some of the Satriani and stuff, but anyway, the last time I saw Skolnick was at NAMM, and this was 2014 or whatever I just said. And I remember it was him and Michael Anthony at the PV, in the PV room. They both did a presentation because Skolnick had a signature, was it a signature amp? I think by PV. And then Michael Anthony had a signature amp. So at the same time, they both did a presentation. I actually filmed some of it. Look on this channel here for NAMM, Skolnick, Michael Anthony, whatever, and you'll see the footage. Maybe I'll put the link down below. But anyway, so once they were done, I went over and met Michael Anthony. That was the first time I met him. 20, was it? In person, I guess. I've actually done a couple Google Hangouts with Michael Anthony in the past. And Satriani. Search this channel. You'll find there's all kinds of stuff on this channel you guys have probably never even seen. I've got so many different things on here. Anyway, I went and saw Mike, and then I went and saw Alex. And I had a mustache that year, just for like a few months or whatever. So I went up to Skolnick, and he didn't recognize me because of that. He's like, Johnny, is that you? It's funny. Steve Anderson, still waiting for the EVH 5150 guitar. Still pacing, huh? 36 days to go, he says. Wow. Yeah, I heard about that. The somebody robbed a bank and they're wearing a Van Halen t-shirt. That guy's gonna get caught, man. Because, you know, put that on Facebook, you know, somebody's gonna see that and be like, hey, wait a minute, that's so-and-so. You know? It's like, yeah, we went to the Van Halen concert, he got that t-shirt, and then so yeah, he's gonna get caught because of that. Definitely. Definitely. The world is way too small. Huh? Do you know if Satriani ever gave lessons to Van Halen? You said you read it somewhere online, but don't believe it. I've never heard that. I Van Halen was not a student of Satriani. Uh, but I wouldn't be surprised if they've jammed together, you know, or traded licks, or traded licks. I wouldn't be surprised, you know. I know I read, years and years and years ago that Edward thought that Satriani had a little bit of VH in him, basically, his groove. Stefan. Look at this. The sun is coming out again. Man. Yeah. Anyway, have a great time at the clinic, man, with Skolnick. Yeah, he's a cool dude. Satriani is a really nice guy. I got to meet Satriani a couple times. I did a hangout with him, um, and then met him in person at a Jason Becker benefit in San Francisco back in 2011, maybe. Satriani was the headliner that night. There were a lot of guys that played at that show. Just like a song here, a song there, a couple songs. Lukather was there. He played a couple tunes. Jeff Watson played. But Satriani was the main event. And I'd never seen Satriani live before that. And he was great. I was basically right up in front. I actually filmed his entire set. And again, it's here on this channel. Just search keyword Satriani on this channel. You'll come across his entire show from that night. I was right up in front. It was cool watching him play. And I was actually back. I was during his little tiny sound check. I was watching him too. John, I saw some videos of Kotzen with Becker. Richie Kotzen. Ever meet him? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I met Richie at Jason's house for Jason's birthday. This would have been in 2010, I think. And he played. Yeah, again, search this channel for Richie Kotzen. You'll come across a video of him playing an acoustic guitar and singing to Jason. That was in Jason's backyard, and I filmed that. And I felt kind of weird about putting it on YouTube. Basically, hey David. I felt kind of hey Landon. John, yeah, there's a couple of those videos from that same thing. One is filmed from the front, where you see Richie playing. One is filmed from behind Richie, and you see Richie's back, and you see Jason. That's the one that I filmed. So yeah, somebody else that was there, who I actually saw at NAMM a few years back. I was at the Seymour Duncan party with Chip, and this woman walks by, and I said to Chip, I'm like, I met her at Jason Becker's house. I couldn't think of her name at the time though. Hey Joe. Um, but anyway, yeah, yeah, lots of cool stuff. Oh man, I'm finally drinking this tea, and it's getting cold, man. Um, hmm, that was my video. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If it's the video of Richie singing to Jason, and it's shot from behind Richie. Yeah, that's my video. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. What I was saying though was I filmed the video. You know, I filmed it in 2010, and then just it was just my own. I don't post everything. Um, this person she put hers up, and because I felt kind of weird, I thought, yeah, I could put it online, and I thought, you know, it was kind of more like a private thing, Well, that's what it was. It was a private party. Um, but after I saw that she put hers up and everybody was digging it and everything, I thought, I'll put mine up as well. I mean, it's the same thing, just shot from a different angle. Um, so yeah. Anyway, it's raining where Nesdal is. It's nice here. A little cloudy actually. I mean, the sun is out. It's pretty cool. Man. Anyway, are you guys having a good time? um, I do promise though to do more like out and about footage for these things, for these Vedas. You know. Although if I do that stuff, they won't be live. So, but I think I think it can be more interesting with just a lot of like a compilation of footage of throughout the day or whatever. Um, so I keep saying I'm going to do more of that, and I will. Maybe tomorrow. uh, actually, I am going up to Walnut Creek Monday. I'll be up in Walnut Creek Monday. So I don't I don't think there'll be uh a live, video Monday. Um but I'll film some stuff and put up like a compilation, vlog video or whatever. Um yeah. Joe, have I seen the new line of Jason Becker guitars? The brand new ones? The ones that are they're like what do you call it? They're more like a budget line of guitars. Yeah, I saw them. Hmm. Hmm. They don't look like his other guitars, right? They're different colors, something like that. Does Miss Bean mind me having my guitars and stuff around the house? Oh yeah, that's yeah, yeah. That doesn't actually live right there. That actually lives over there. Yeah, Joe. Yeah, yeah. I saw them. I saw them. Let me see. I'll show you guys them if I can find them. There's a new line of Jason Becker signature guitars. Um, Here they are. The new, more affordable Becker guitars. Yeah, look like that. Jason Becker guitars. Jason actually gives a friend of mine guitars. He's given this one friend of mine. Uh, Actually, that's how I met Jason in the first place. Was this? We have a mutual friend. Um, Actually, it's such a small world. Um, I went to Skolnick's birthday party. This was in 1995 when Skolnick lived in this apartment in Berkeley. I go to his birthday party, and I meet this guy at the party. This guy ends up working at this rehearsal studio. That's how I got hooked up with this rehearsal studio, the one that Testament used to rehearse at, the one I was just kind of talking about. Um, anyway, that friend of mine, he's the one he's the one that introduced me to Jason Becker, because for years he was telling me about Jason Becker for years. Like he actually, this one friend of mine, he actually used to take lessons from Jason. Uh, Back in would have been in the 80s. Used to take lessons from him, and so Jason would give this friend of mine guitars. I remember I was rehearsing at the studio late one night, and they were closing up, and my friend, he was closing up, and he's like, "Johnny, check this out. Jason just gave me this guitar." And this was in 96. It was around the time you guys have all seen the video of the Jerry Lewis telethon video with Edward with Jason, and they're outside. That was filmed in Jason's backyard, and this would have been around that time, because I remember my friend, he told me, he told me that that Edward had come up to see Jason. This would have been right after that happened, like literally right after they did that. Um, I heard that this friend of mine told me about it, and of course I was like, well, I couldn't believe it, because I lived just one town over. I lived in El Cerrito, California at the time. So to think that Van Halen had come to Richmond, California, which is basically right next door, just insane. Um, but so anyway, so my friend's closing up the studio, the rehearsal place, and he's like, Johnny, check this out. Look at this guitar Jason gave me, and it was one of those numbers guitars. So it's like the wooden finish, and it has all the different colored numbers as the fret markers, or whatever you call them, and the multicolored humbuckers and stuff. There was actually a few of those guitars, um, and Jason gave one to my friend. Um, and I remember when Edward was at Jason's house, he played one of them. There's actually pictures. There's actually pictures of that. Um, and I actually hear there's actually a video of that. There's actually video of Edward at Jason's playing Jason's guitars. It's not released though. Um, but yeah, yeah. So anyway, Jason, he's given my friend guitars over the years. He gave him that guitar. He gave him a EVH Circles guitar. He gave him one of those. Hey, Michael Smith. Hey, Vinny. Cool, man. Very cool. I'm just sitting here, having my tea, doing my vlog, which I don't know if this is even a vlog. I'm just sitting here, just talking to you guys. How many eggs today? 2. I got them early this morning. I was out there early this morning, cleaning out their uh, their beds. Huh? Did you get to play that numbers guitar? Joe Wentz asks me. The one that Van Halen played? Yeah, yeah, I played it. Um, it's cool. Yeah, there's several different ones of those guitars made by different brands, but they're not production guitars. They have them now. Carvin puts them out now. Um, but there's several that companies made for Jason. Way back in the day. And I'm thinking the one that I played, the one that Van Halen played at Jason's house. I'm thinking that was a Peavey. I think it was a Peavey guitar. But there's other ones though. They actually produced this other company years ago. Well, not that long ago. 5 years ago, actually produced some Jason Becker guitars of like that guitar. Um, but I don't think they made them for very long. But the ones now are great. The ones they make now, they're top quality. Yeah. Art Tabor, how are you doing, man? Citizen Kane, I did not practice today. No, I haven't played that much today myself. I've been doing a million other different things. Um, although I think I'll do some playing tonight. Um, do I like jazz? Stefan is asking me. Yeah, yeah. I like everything. I listen to all different kinds of music, all different kinds of stuff. Michael Smith, Johnny, what is your favorite Jason Becker guitar that has been in production? Um, I would say the new ones, the ones they're making now. There's a numbers guitar. Um, I think that's my favorite one. I've played some of the other ones though. They make some solid color ones. There's like a blue one. A friend of mine has, I think, the red one maybe. I think he ordered a red one. Or is it a blue one? This other friend of mine who I see over at Jason's house Usually it's like on like birthday, like Jason's birthday. A lot of times I'll go over to his house on his birthday or like during for like a birthday party. So, um, cool, Landon. Yeah, yeah. It's good to practice every day, or just you know whenever you can. Bag cereals, Johnny. Do you think the Mitch Malloy demos will ever be released? Uh, actually, Mitch just released one of them himself. He actually released. I think it's up. It's online. Well, yeah, I know it is. But as far as Van Halen releasing them, you never know. I've heard a couple of the Mitch Malloy demos with Van Halen. I think we all probably have. I think there's only a couple of them that are out there. There's no, there's a few of them. I think there's Panama. There's a live version of Panama. There's a live version, and these are all from the studio from 5150. There's a Panama. There's a Why Can't This Be Love? I think, and then there's the song which was the demo that everybody basically auditioned with, and it ended up never really getting released, but kind of with Sharon. It was called "That's Why I Love You." Mitch Malloy he recorded his own version of that called "It's the Right Time," I believe it is, and that is Van Halen. That is Van Halen playing. And I think Mitch, I think he released that himself, that song, just recently. Um, the second Sharon album, do I think that'll be released? I It'd be cool to hear, definitely. You know, it'd be interesting. Be interesting to hear because they basically they made that first record and then they toured. You know, and I think it would have been interesting to hear what they you know came up with after the tour, where they were probably more more connected, musically. Um, hmm hmm These guys are talking to each other. I'm just reading. Yeah, but I've said it before. As far as the Van Halen 3 album, I think it's great. I thought it was great when it first came out. You know, I remember I bought it. That's when I lived in Miami. That's when I was living at Desmond Child's house, working with him. He was managing and producing and this band that I was in at the time, and I lived at Desmond's house. Um, but yeah, that was 1998 is when that was. So that's when Van Halen 3 came out, and I remember the day I got the CD. I remember I mean, the thing is, when you buy a brand new record, when you buy a CD or a record or an album, I mean, because nowadays you download, iTunes. Everything I do now is iTunes. Um, you buy the album off iTunes, or I do, put it in my iPod, jump in the car, and drive. That's how I like to listen to a record for the first time. Is just on the road, not thinking, and just hearing something for the first time. That's how I love to do stuff. There's actually a brand new Andy Summers album, which I haven't downloaded yet. I know, shame on me. Um, I do need to get to grab that off iTunes. Uh, Maybe I'll do that this weekend and then listen to it Monday as I drive up to Walnut Creek. Maybe. Um, but as far as Van Halen 3, it wasn't like that, because I remember I bought the CD, and then the band that I was in, we were at the store, and then I bought the album, and then we went back to I think it was a studio. I think we actually listened to it in Desmond's recording studio. I think that's where I first heard that album, the CD. Um, and it sucked. Not the CD. It sucked because every song, one of the other guys in the band was like at the CD player, and every song would come on, he'd be like, he kept skipping songs. So I would hear the beginning to a song, I'd hear a little bit of it, and then it would skip to the next one. The guy would skip it. And I'm just thinking, ugh, you know, this isn't the way I wanted to be introduced to this record, with you skipping all the tracks. So I remember that night, as I was going to sleep, I got to listen to the whole record, myself. So you know how music, like a song will take you back to like the first time you heard that particular song. You know, you can hear a song, and then all of a sudden you're back in high school, or whatever. Every time I hear the Van Halen 3 album, I'm back in Miami at Desmond's house, basically. Every time I hear it. Um, and Yeah, I do remember hearing. I remember Sammy Hagar put out a record called, I want to say it was called Red Voodoo. This would have been released like probably in '99 or something. I heard a couple of the tracks, just the music, to a couple of the songs, when it was actually being worked on, because Sammy had sent a couple of the tracks to Desmond's studio, for them to mix some of the music. So I remember I would like, this is the same studio that I'd be recording in, and then later that night I would, go in to, grab, maybe my guitar. I left it in there or something. I don't know. And these two engineers were sitting there at the console, and they're like, "Johnny, check this out. This is a new Sammy Hagar song." They were actually working on it, but there was no vocals yet. It was just music. So I heard the music to two of the tracks from Red Voodoo, although I couldn't tell you what. Actually, I could. If I looked at the liner notes, I could tell you what two songs I heard, because I'd recognize the names of the engineers, because because I worked with them as well for at Desmond's, because they worked for Desmond. So that'd be interesting to hear those songs now, because that was one album I never bought, Red Voodoo. I never bought that record. Um, but anyway, Van Halen 3, I think, was a awesome record. You know, and it definitely would have been interesting to hear the follow up to that. That would have been great. Huh? That's a great album, Bozique. Yeah, I never heard it. I don't think I might have heard some stuff on the radio, maybe, because after that, a couple of years later, I used to rehearse at a studio, a rehearsal studio up in Marin County, San Rafael. I think I used to rehearse at a studio in San Rafael, and Sammy lives basically one town over. Um, so I would hear the local rock radio would play. They play Sammy all the time here because he lives here. But I think I heard one of the songs from that album on the radio. I'm thinking, but yeah, this was years ago, years and years ago. Yeah. What time is it? How long have I been on here? Way too long. I know it's been over 20 minutes. Oh man, man, my tea is cold. I make this hot tea. Oh well. Huh? Hey Daniel. Hey, it's all good, man. Warm the tea, Landon says. Oh, it's basically gone. I mean, I basically drank the whole thing. Although now, I'll get, hopped up on caffeine, and I'll be hopped up the rest of the night. It's 9 minutes to 7 here. Yeah. Yes. Anyway, I'm glad I was talking about some of that stuff because now I remember to buy the new Andy Summers record. Now I got to get that. The new Andy Summers. And actually, speaking of that, he put out a great album a few years ago. Um, he hooked up with a singer named Rob Giles. Trash Nights tomorrow. Joe just arrived at his destination, he says. Anyway, a few years ago, what, 4 years ago? A while back, Andy Summers, he hooked up with a singer named Rob Giles, and they ended up forming this band called Circus Zero. They released one record, and they called it Circus Hero. So I know that that's kind of confusing. But the way they named the album that because Andy did a radio interview promoting. I think they had a song. They had a single out. They didn't have the album out yet. They had released just a single. And Mike has himself says he arrived at his destination, the couch. So anyway, Andy Summers, he was doing this radio, interview, and the radio guy, the DJ, accidentally said his band was called Circus Hero. It was Circus Zero, but he thought he had said Circus Hero, and Andy thought that was funny, and he thought that was cool, and he told the singer, of them, and of that. And he's like, "Oh, we should. That's what we should call the record." So once they made the record, they called it Circus Hero. But black belt. He says he listened to Circus Zero on my recommendation. Great sounding band. Yeah, yeah, they're great. It's too bad they only released the one record. They're not together anymore. They just stopped. You know, it's like they actually played live on Jimmy Kimmel. Uh, I think they were going to do South by Southwest. I don't know if they did or not. Um, they played some shows down in L.A., which I should have gone. I should have gone. They played the Troubadour. Uh, I should have gone to that show. Um, but yeah, they released the one record, and then all of a sudden, like on Twitter, everything's cool, then nothing. They never officially said anything about breaking up or anything. And I've talked to Andy Summers a few times since then, but I've never asked him about the band. But anyway, that's a great album. If you guys liked The Police, if you like The Police, and The Police, they did their reunion in 2007, 2008, but they didn't make a new record or anything. You could almost, listen to Circus Zero, their album, Circus Hero. Listen to that, and it's almost like a new Police record. Almost. I mean, it's not Sting, but it's Andy Summers, and he's a lot of it is, he does some pretty classic Police stuff on there, but brand new. Michael Collins says, "I'm not really a Sting fan." Uh, I'm not either. I mean, I love Sting and the Police. In the Police, he's awesome. His solo stuff, I would say his first couple solo albums were great. Dream of the Blue Turtles, great album. Um, he has a lot of great songs, great stuff. But it kind of, I don't know. I actually saw Sting at the Berkeley Community Theater back in 1999 or 2000. Remember when Sting had the song? Was it called Desert Rose? The singer that I was working with, we had this band at the time, and she used to do what do you call it? Like you go to shows, and if it's in like a you have the seat, you show people where the seats are. Like if somebody comes up to you with a ticket, you're like, "Oh, you're down here." She used to do that, and so I ended up going with her to a couple shows and doing that as well. One of them was Sting, and so we got in for free. Um, got in for free at Sting. This would have been in 2000, I think, 99, 2000 ish. Whenever that Desert Rose album was out, whatever that was, and we were watching the show, and then after a while, we're just like, "Eh," and we left. um, and then the other show that we got into for free as seat, what do you call them? Was at the Greek Theater in Berkeley, and that was what was that band? Oh, one of them. Well, one of the. I'm thinking one of the opening bands at that show was this band called Lit. Um, And anyway, I'm friends with the bass player of that band now. Saw him at the NAMM show. He came up to me. He runs up to me and he's like, Johnny. I'm standing there with this other friend of mine, and he runs up to us, and he's like, Johnny, and then the other friend, I'm not gonna say on here, but he's like, Johnny, you know, I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I follow you guys on Instagram. You know, it's hilarious. Awesome, dude. Very cool, dude. What was the other band though? I'm thinking there was the headliner for that band. I can't think of what. You guys would know them. You guys would know who they were. Oh, I can't think of it. I'll think of it later. Oh man. Hey, Bruce. Now I'm going crazy trying to think what that band was called. This was in like 1999, I think. Man. Anyway. I'm gonna go nuts if I don't think of what that band was. Okay, this is Offspring. There we go. It was the Offspring. There we go. All right. All right, you guys. I think I'm gonna bounce. Yeah. Offspring. A band I never would have thought I ever would have, saw live, but you know, you never know what's gonna happen tomorrow, you know. Are we good? I think we're good. I think we're good. It's 7:01 right here. 10:01 East Coast time. Yeah, and I have a few other things I should do before I walk with Howard, the Dalmatian. So everybody, thank you for jumping in here. Wow, thank you for joining me for my VEDA, my vlog every day in April. Just yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be doing Wolfgang Wednesday, talking about Wolfgangs, of course. Awesome guitars. It's all good, man. Yeah. Yes. All right. Thumbs up, everybody. Thumbs up. And see you guys tomorrow. Johnny Beane, JohnnyBeane.com. Are you on Snapchat? I know you are. Add me on Snapchat. It's just my name, Johnny Beane. Add me on Snapchat and I'll add you back. I posted to Snapchat this morning a couple pictures that I didn't post anywhere else. So I post exclusive photos to Snapchat. So give me a follow and I'll follow you back. All right. See you guys. Johnny Beane, JohnnyBeane.com. 36 sleeps till June for the 50 guitar. Steve, that's right. Right there, man. There you go. 36. You'll have that guitar in no time, man. In no time. That guitar. That is a truly amazing guitar. It really is. It really is. Awesome, John. Yeah. All right. See you guys. See you guys tomorrow. JohnnyBean, JohnnyBean.com. Instagram, Johnny Bean. Snapchat, Johnny Bean. Facebook, guitarist, Johnny Bean. See you guys.